Microsoft Edge for Business gets new data leak control capabilities that Windows Recall desperately needs to prevent exfiltration of the user's private information. Reportedly on TikTok, each video leaves almost 6.
AOC says she wouldn't be surprised if Trump threw me in jail if he wins in 2024. Purported neo-Nazis rally at South Dakota state capitol, march around Pierre. Trump may seek mistrial after Facebook user claims advanced knowledge of verdict.
British PM Rishi Sunak apologizes for skipping D-Day commemorations to campaign for election, and Rishi Sunak vows £12 billion in welfare cuts as part of back-to-work moral mission. Starmer vows no tax surprises in Labour's final election offer.
In the UK, tactical voting threat to Tories as Lib Dems target 90 seats. The Guardian comments as, "I want Labour to come into power, so I'm voting Lib Dem. Tactical voting threatens blue wall Tories." Labour plans age limit in House of Lords reform, and The Independent comments as, Labour criticised for U-turning on plans to abolish the House of Lords.
Some U.S. lawmakers call for more scrutiny of news app Newsbreak over Chinese origins. Trump vows to never ban TikTok in strongest statement yet on Chinese-owned social media giant. In USA's Texas, Attorney General Ken Paxton opens investigation into car manufacturers' collection and sale of drivers' data.
Dependent on parents, Spain's government seeks to push through a reduction in weekly working hours.
Trump demands Biden remove ad of him calling dead soldiers suckers and losers, and Trump denies calling dead soldiers losers and suckers after Biden visit to cemetery in France. Fox News edited out Trump saying he might keep Epstein files sealed. Trump meets with probation officer ahead of sentencing.
French far-right projected to win snap election without absolute majority. In Germany, Putin announces further cooperation between Russia and the AfD, and no signs of neo-Nazism, claims. Von der Leyen aims for a second term but still needs a deal. In Ireland, far-right candidates spread baseless claims of election fraud. Portugal's socialists and liberals defeat far-right in EU elections. Russian officials call Macron and Scholz illegitimate after EU election setbacks.
In Canada, federal parties agree to ask commissioner to investigate treason allegations in watchdog report. Federal government to give Quebec $750 million for surge in temporary immigrants. Biden to close Dili detention center, shift resources amid border crackdown. EU's Josep Borrell says Israel's rescue mission another massacre of Gazans. U.S. intelligence helped Israel rescue 4 hostages in Gaza. Israel rescues 4 hostages in Gaza raid that Hamas says kills 210 Palestinians.
Russia calls U.S. an enemy state for first time as Ukraine war intensifies. Russia plans coal exports to India via Iran's railways. Russia may transfer brigade set of Iskanders to Belarus. Hangar construction ongoing, claimed in the media.
Some F-16s donated to Ukraine will be stored abroad as reserves, top officer says. U.S. confirms Ukraine used Patriot to down Russia's valuable A-50 radar plane in January. Nearly 20,000 Wagner mercenaries died taking Bakhmut, media investigation confirms.
Uvalde shooting survivors' families sue UPS, FedEx for shipping weapon used by gunmen in school massacre. In the U.S., Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez says progressive movement is undermined by anti-Semitism. Drop in violent crime is no accident, Biden says, as violent crime is down and the U.S. murder rate is plunging, FBI statistics show. UN Food Agency pauses its aid work at U.S. pier in Gaza over security concerns.
Blinken says U.S. will try to bridge Israel and Hamas gaps on Gaza truce. Time for haggling to stop, and Blinken says some of Hamas' proposed changes to a ceasefire plan in Gaza are workable and some not. Hamas seeks complete halt to war in Gaza proposal response. UN says record 120 million people forcibly displaced globally.
Have both committed war crimes since October 7th, and Hamas leader said civilian death toll could benefit militant group in Gaza war, WSJ reports. Hezbollah rains rockets on Israel after strike kills commander.
UN confirms 11 staff detained by Houthis in Yemen. Israel's top coal supplier Colombia to suspend exports over Gaza war. Putin's daughters make rare appearance at St. Petersburg Economic Forum.
Former astronaut William Anders, who took iconic Earthrise photo, killed in Washington plane crash. Oxford University to return 16th century bronze sculpture of Hindu Saint Tirumankai Alvar to India. In Germany, cancer researchers call for ban on cigarette sales in supermarkets.
Google's new CFO to receive $9.9 million signing bonus, $1 million in annual salary. Norway Wealth Fund to vote against Musk's $56 billion Tesla pay package. The train's still too expensive for the majority of French people, according to a survey.
Europe afraid of Chinese EVs, says BYD boss, ahead of likely EU tariff hike. Turkey to impose additional 40% tariff on all China vehicles. Volvo to shift EV production to Europe to escape China tariffs.
18. Trump attempts to take credit for insulin pricing in Truth Social post. Haiti's new prime minister hospitalized days after being selected to lead country.
Russia's advanced Su-57 fighter jet hit in Astrakhan Oblast, claimed by HUR. Human rights activists have asked the Hague court to issue arrest warrants for Russian propagandists Solovyov, Simon Yang and Kiselyov. During Paris visit, Biden warns that Putin is not going to stop at Ukraine. Irish, Czechs hold EU vote, after Dutch far-right gains. Danish Prime Minister cancels campaign events, after being assaulted by man in Copenhagen. Dutch vote shows limit of far-right turnout in EU elections.
Saudis said to hand about 60% of Aramco, offer to foreign funds. German appliance maker Miele to cut 1,300 jobs in Germany. California upgrade company aims militarized, tactical Cybertruck at police forces. Gaza civilian killings during Israel's freeing of hostages could be war crimes, UN says. Hamas, Palestinian Authority welcome UN Security Council resolution for Gaza ceasefire. Al Jazeera rejects accusations hostage captor was a journalist on their platform. Apple supplier stocks drop as AI events seen lacking wow factor. Where Apple brings ChatGPT and more AI to devices, Wall Street unimpressed. Elon Musk threatens to ban Apple devices from his companies over Apple's ChatGPT integrations. Russia announces joint Navy drills with Egypt near Suez Canal. Ukraine is developing its own glide bombs. Reportedly, the ones it got from the U.S. often don't work.
Russia begins second stage of tactical nuclear weapon drills with Belarus. Russia uses submarines to patrol Black Sea after naval losses, Ukraine military says. Rheinmetall and Ukrainian government open tank repair plant.
Japan ministry believes Toyota's misconduct may violate UN standards, Yomiuri reports. Class action lawsuit alleges certain Kia and Hyundai vehicles have a defect. Chinese builder Daishin receives liquidation order from HK court.
Mexico's peso sinks as Sheinbaum embraces judicial reform. Japan to enroll all foreign residents in national pension system. In the UK, Labour election victory would be net positive for markets, says JP Morgan.
Hyundai plans to file for India unit IPO in June, sources say. Intel interrupts work on $25 billion Israel fab. citing need for responsible capital management. Apple's Vision Pro headset sets launch in China, where it faces ByteDance, Huawei. Boeing Starliner stuck on space station, as more leaks discovered. NASA accidentally broadcasts simulation of distressed astronauts on space station. DARPA's secretive new neutrino detector program could be a game changer for global underwater military surveillance.
Nearly a week ago, Chinese battery suppliers tied to Ford, VW should be banned, GOP lawmakers say. EU hits Chinese EVs with extra duties of up to 38.1%, and Czech carmakers warn tariffs on Chinese EVs could hit supply chains. Tesla to build Shanghai factory to make Megapack batteries.
Dollar and euro trade halted on Russia's biggest exchange due to new U.S. sanctions. New U.S. wave of Ukraine sanctions includes targets in Hong Kong and mainland China. U.S. expands Russia sanctions to target LNG projects, chips, and David Cameron calls on Europe to turn off Russian gas to save Ukraine.
A 98-year-old man's liver was donated. He is believed to be the oldest American organ donor ever. NBA icon and Hall of Famer Jerry West passes away at 86. Françoise Hardy, French pop singer and fashion muse, dies aged 80.
More than 75% of U.S. hotels remain short-staffed, survey shows. LA Times comments as, the fast food industry claims the California minimum wage law is costing jobs. Its numbers are fake. New York Times union urges management to reconsider 9 art department cuts as paper ramps up AI tools. FBI official admits mistakes, vows to improve relations with Asian American communities as FBI asks scientists for trust in taking anti-Asian bias seriously. Sales of Chinese CCTV cameras surge despite UK security ban. Nearly 80% of Americans are concerned about the spread of disinformation, with Black people among the most targeted.
2025 BMW M2 gets 20 horsepower boost to 473 ponies, updated cabin. Honda launches long-awaited electric van starting at $15,550. 9 months ago, it had been announced that Honda unveils $10,000 electric N-Van E with 130 miles range that can power your home.
Moldovan president signs changes to treason law denounced by opposition, Amnesty International. Massive attack cancelled Georgia show, in protest to the government's attack on basic human rights. France's Macron suspends New Caledonia reform that sparked deadly riots after snap polls called. S-500 Prometheus air defense system now protecting Russia's Kerch Bridge, claimed by Ukraine's spy boss. Rheinmetall, Kyiv agreed to start producing Lynx armored vehicles in Ukraine in 2024. Candias to unveil next-generation main battle tank at Eurosatory 2024.
Reportedly, more Russians died in 10 months' battle for Bakhmut than in 10 years' Afghan war. Foot investigation finds Ukrainian children on Russian adoption sites, and U.S. aware of credible reports Russia is listing Ukrainian children for adoption, White House says. Dutch MPs approve purchase of 4 Black Sword Barracuda submarines from Naval Group.
In the U.S., prices stayed flat in May as inflation hit plateau and Federal Reserve leaves rates unchanged, sees only one 2024 cut despite inflation progress. Philippine rate cut likely to come after Fed, finance chief says. Australia's unemployment rate dips to 4% as economy adds 40,000 new jobs.
Coinbase introduces H-Index. Ethereum tops new blockchain activity metric. JP Morgan Chase, Bank of America, and Wells Fargo customers lose $456 million in 1 year to dirty little secret called Zelle, says Senate Committee Chairman. Trump pitches himself as crypto president at San Francisco tech fundraiser. Binance reaches 200 million users with $100 billion in assets under custody. U.S. crypto advocacy group tops 1 million members after Biden veto.
Iggy Azalea says Mother tokens can soon be used to buy phones. Fidelity International tokenizes money market fund on JP Morgan's blockchain. Craig Wright should pay plaintiff's legal bill after found posing as Satoshi, Copa says.
Trump says remaining Bitcoin must be made in U.S. Saudi Arabia joins BIS and China-led central bank digital currency project.
U.S. settles for $4.47 billion with now bankrupt crypto firm